This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't tell me how to do it. That's all I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pretty pleasant day today, but I mean, I got up. It said it was 39 degrees at my house this morning.
I usually have a pretty good idea, and I don't have like an extensive wardrobe, Tom. But when I will like get dressed, I usually do like, "Hey Siri, what's the temperature outside?"
Right,
40 degrees.
40. Oh yeah. So
40 degrees.
You had 40. I had 39.
Unbelievable. We're already getting to that time of the year.
Yeah, we are indeed. No, it was a beautiful weekend though. Mostly, I do believe, but
yeah,
a lot of stuff going on. I just had. By the way, Tevin apparently will be here, but he's on the honky time or something. I don't know what he's doing.
He is on. He's on a highway, stuck. It sounds like
it's
right
like
now.
Every day gets worse. Can he figure it out or not?
We'll take turns. Do you want to take tomorrow's turn, or do you want to take the rep
tomorrow? Let's see. What do I have tomorrow?
Tuesday the 8th.
The only reason I can't do it, the only day I know I can't do it is on Friday. I got a bunch of meetings going on. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess I could just do it. I could step up unlike other employees.
Tell you what, you step up tomorrow, maybe even Wednesday too, and
sure.
then Thursday and Friday I'll be late and stuck. And
yeah, there you go.
I like that.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I got to say one thing, and I was kind of hoping that Tevin would be here, but he'll be here for the end of it. Every Monday now, I do not watch the national news. I just don't do it because it's just so slanted. No matter who you're watching, it's slanted way far left or way far right. But I watch it every Monday just to see if they've learned anything. The fact that the numbers are way down on those shows, the national news shows. They're way down. Yeah, good. I agree.
Good.
All I got this morning was how horrible either Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, or J.D. Vance, Donald Trump. They're horrible people. I want you. Now, one station didn't say both of them were horrible. It took different outlets to point out how horrible the other side is. And one side said, I don't even want to mention who said what to whom because they're all a bunch of, it's all about making money, ladies and gentlemen. Please understand that. They really don't believe any of this stuff. They make their money by closing, they squint their eyes down. And there's one woman, I don't even know what her name is, but she's on a national show with, I met the guy on the show. His name is Joe Cuppa Joe or whatever the hell his name is.
Perfect.
Guy's a flaming prick in person.
Okay.
I mean, and again, it doesn't matter if he's Democrat, Republican, if you just go that deep and that far. But he was talking this morning and he's got real squinty eyes, like I don't know if he's bearing down or what he's doing. And so you will be him, and then I will be you on the pictures that are being shown right now. That's right.
Yes.
So she did not say a word the entire 5 minutes. I can only watch for about 5 minutes because it's so negative and hateful.
Yeah.
And we're teaching other people to be hateful, and more shooting deaths by the day. Maybe we could all learn to stop doing that because some people are not bright enough to figure out that you're bullshitting them to make money.
That'd be nice if we could all just tone back on the shooting.
Yeah, that'd be great. But here's what she did the entire time the guy was talking.
Mm-hmm. So I'm doing my squinty, you said?
Yeah, you can do your squinty eyes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
And then I'll do this. I will do this.
Very grimacing, menacing.
Menacing grit. And she just kept swinging it like she was little bobbleheads or something, right? And then you go to the other one and it's like, oh my God, they're destroying the nation. Whether it's, I don't even want to give the call letters to any of these. Well, I said Cup of Joe or whatever the hell it was. The other one was is Fox.
Okay.
And it's the same. Kamala Harris should be, kicked out of the country, and Tim Walz is a moron. One thing I got to tell you though,
okay,
because I did watch Tim Walz' interview. He was on Fox, and the woman she was very pleasant to him, and he did a pretty good job. What I could tell, he's being pleasant as well. But I mean, every sentence started with, and that's why we've got to defeat Trump because he's evil. It's like, could you talk about, okay, let's accept the fact he is evil and you should beat him. What else you got?
Yeah, I'm sure something like that's a strategy, a talking point, because they're like, well, how if you're on Fox, you're going to be talking to primarily Trump voters, like Trump backers. You know, just that's their demographic. So I'm sure they had a strategy there, and in their mind, you know, if he goes on there and sways the opinion of 2 out of the, you know, millions of people watching, that's probably a win.
Probably.
But I mean, back to your original point of the news you should be watching, in my opinion, support the local stations. Like turn on Chris Egert in the morning.
I don't know about Chris Egert. Fine. I might have to argue that point, but
maybe the rest of his team, but not Chris Egert.
Yes, exactly. Whenever I just kind of turn the TV so I can't see him, but I can see the rest of it.
Yes.
No, you're absolutely right. Watch the local news. They care about you locally. I mean, I don't really hear a lot of political opinions, which is great. I don't want to hear your political opinion on any of this stuff unless you're trying to teach me something that will help me rather than hurt me. And just whether you vote for this guy or this woman or whomever, I got to be honest with you, and I'll be very serious about this. I cannot tell you the last time I looked at a president of the United States and said, hey, that's my kind of guy. They're not like us at all. I hope. First of all, if you have the arrogance to run for president, you're not my kind of person anyway.
I was going to say, I feel like that's the immediate disqualifier for you.
Absolutely.
Anybody who thinks they're worthy of that position does not match up well with you.
I couldn't agree more. It just... Oh my God, the arrogance of these people is just overwhelming, and they can get away with anything. I was looking at some of the, look who's here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now on mountain time. To make sure that Tevin gets here on time, we're on mountain time now. So it's actually only 7:07. So he's really early.
Yeah, that's it's been a morning.
We were talking.
I didn't think daylight savings was for a couple
yeah,
weeks
that's what I thought. That's a November deal, isn't it?
No.
We were just talking about how horrible, because every Monday I watch the national news for about 10 minutes, 5 minutes on here, 5 minutes there. Maybe it's about 15, 20 minutes. And I just watch it once a week to see if they've learned anything or anything's gotten better. It's getting worse. Yeah, they hate you and we don't. You need to understand they hate your guts, but we don't. We like you. But that guy should be in prison. It's like, Jesus, could you be any more negative?
Yeah, and it's our guy probably should be in prison, but your guy, he should be in prison more than our guy.
Yeah.
So it makes our guy
should be longer in a higher facility, prison, maximum security, throw away the key.
That's exactly the point. It really is. We all should be in prison, but him first.
Yeah, him first and for a little bit longer than us.
I don't know. Look, vote for whomever. I was just telling AJ, I'm sick to death of the hatred on both sides here. Oh, this guy, this woman. Oh my God, this other. Oh, Jesus. I was watching, because I tune around and watch the stuff. And there was an interview. Shannon Bream, I think her name is. She's on Fox Television. She was interviewing Tim Walz, and she was very pleasant to him. Didn't one time say, oh, how can you vote? But how can you run with Kamala Harris? She's evil and horrible. I mean, she didn't do any of that stuff. Yeah. And he handled the interview pretty well. It was much more pleasant. And I'm not saying that because it was on Fox, but it was just the two of them together. Well, like Walz did a pretty good job with J.D. Vance, too. But then they had to attack J.D. Vance because he wouldn't admit that the 2020 election was not fixed. I don't think he mean it's fixed anyway, but people do steal ballots and vote way off the record every election. I'm sorry, but it does happen. They can deny it all they want. And I'm not saying Trump won. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they do cheat as much as they can.
Yeah, everybody's cheating a little bit. And at this point, like, what are we just going to undo the last 4 years? Like, I feel like we're kind of past the 2020 stolen election.
Well, they're the ones bringing it up.
No, I know. Like, why shouldn't even? Like, I don't understand why it's even brought up anymore.
Right.
Like,
they're the ones bringing it up. It's like, would you calm down for Christ's sake? Oh, but I got to show because I already showed AJ, so I got to show you. I was watching this one show this morning on. Is this on MSNBC? I think that Joe Cuppy or whatever it's called.
I'm not sure. We're slowly since the start of the show, you've gone from I'm not going to say who it is to let me tell you exactly where I watched it.
Well, I don't even know what the hell the guy's name is. He's just not. They're not my kind of people. They're acting crabby just to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And we're discussing it. Don't fall for the far left or the far right. They're saying those things to make money. They couldn't give a rat's ass who's elected president.
No,
They get money.
Yeah, they want whatever candidate is going to be the most polarizing, so that it gets most eyes and they can get the most money for advertising.
Okay, we got a break coming up. I got to show you what I showed AJ already. There's a woman on this show, and I don't remember her name. What her name is?
But she does it with Cup of Joe. Some guy named
Joe Cups.
Joe Cups.
Cup my penis or whatever the hell it is. I don't know what the hell his name is.
I
don't know what it is. But honest to God, the whole time, and he is just, Trump sucks. And of course, you go on Fox. Oh God, Kamala sucks. That's all you hear.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole time he's going after how horrible and horrendous Trump is. She's going like this. So you would be the camera.
Yep.
Right? She's going like this. She gave me this evil stare. I'm like, what are you doing? Look, no, one side's not better than the other. They both are way over the top with this crap, and I'm just sick to death of it. And thank God, AJ pointed out, they don't do that on the local news, and I really appreciate the fact they don't do it. Yeah. I mean, I still don't like Chris Egert as a human.
Yeah, but you can get over that as long as he's giving you straight down the middle news stories.
But I don't get upset. I used to kind of get pissed off about this stuff, but I don't get pissed off anymore. I find it hilarious because all you're doing is selling your product.
Yeah.
You're not talking to anybody in development for anybody. You're selling either Fox or CNN. That's what you're selling, or MSNBC or whatever.
Yep. When you look at it through the lens of this is all a show, and a production, it changes kind of your perception on what they're telling you.
Okay, one more thing before we go, because it was brought up several times. Catherine and I went to an apple orchard with Andy and his family on Saturday. Okay. And there were these two farmers, a man and a woman, and of course the face was cut out. So you put your face in there. Mm-hmm. I figured I'd make a scary face. Holy Christ. I was terrified of myself. You remember Rondo Hatton? You ever heard of him?
Yeah, the horror actor.
The horror actor. Uh-huh. I looked worse than he did.
Oh boy.
I was like,
that's a high bar.
Honest to God, my face is all wrinkly and pulled. Well, first of all, my head was too big to fit in the little slot.
Oh, okay.
So I had to kind of push it in there. So I was like this already.
I was going to say, but before all this, like you're describing this grotesque figure. It's like, please tell me there was something wrong with, like, you were doing something to your face.
It's on my Facebook page. Honest to God, I saw it. Oh, and the guys all had to do this too. Holy Christ, you look like a monster on that thing. Nice face. Right? Rondo hat, blah, blah, blah. Your wife sure is pretty.
Yeah.
Shut up. Don't tell her that. Now I got to put up with that. Thank you so much. So anyway, let me just say this. We got some more stuff coming up. And we've held off till you got here and Phil got here, so we can talk about yet another Queens victory.
Might not ever lose.
Might not ever lose another game.
I don't see a loss.
Can't find it.
I don't see a loss coming up.
Can't find one.
Okay, we're going to find out right after this. But honest to God, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to do it, just tune in on Monday morning just for a couple of minutes each, and you will hate the national news more than you ever had, because all it is anger and hatred. That's all it is. Watch the local news. Even Chris Egert, I'm begging you. He's not that great, but watch him anyway. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. South Dakota is one of the most business-friendly states in the country, and there's no better place to settle down and fake advantage. No, that would be take advantage, Tom, of those incentives than in Sioux Falls. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. That is a fact. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits to what your business can achieve. Sioux Falls, South Dakota was recently ranked the #1 best small city for business and careers by Forbes magazine and website, of course. The #2 best state business tax climate by the Tax Foundation, and the #5 top state for e-commerce by Nexus. As one of the Midwest's fastest growing cities, Sioux Falls has a robust, growing job market. No matter where you're at in your career, we have an opportunity waiting for you. Our city's tax-friendly climate and strong workforce don't go unrecognized. Forbes named Sioux Falls one of the top small cities for business and careers each of the last 15 years. In 2020, Sioux Falls also ranked as the #4 best city for young professionals. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? Well, They rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's biggest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Now is the perfect time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Mike Lindell and My Pillow. Boy, he should be on TV more often. Every time I tuned in this morning, he was there. We got a lot of stuff to sell you, man. Mike Lindell and My Pillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. When Mike started My Pillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, they now have hundreds of products, some you may not even know about. For example, the brand new 4-pack dish towels, just $25. 6-pack towel sets, just $25. Bed sheets for as low as, of course, $25. Check out their overstock and closeout sale. Now they have sale, save up to 80% off select items. That's how good a sale it is. Looking for a good night's sleep? Take advantage of the classic collection on a variety of My Pillows for as low as $9.88, ladies and gentlemen. These amazing offers won't last long, so order now. Just go to mypillow.com and call 800-516-5146, and please do use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings 8 to 9:30 or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, I need some help, and Phil Mackey is here to help from SKOR North, ladies and gentlemen. I do need some big help.
Like life help, football help? What kind of help we talking about?
Definitely some football help. There's no question. Well, no, this is more a life help thing.
Okay.
Because yesterday morning at about 7:30 in the morning, I posted something on Facebook talking about this game is making me nervous. I know the Jets aren't very good, but, you know, the Vikings had a 28-point lead last week and blah, blah. So this long thing, not really long, I mean, but longish for a post. I hit post, didn't come up. So I'm like, what the hell is this all about? You know when it popped up? After the Viking game. So why did that happen? Because I said, watch out. This game could be a little tighter than you think. Yes, they should blow out the Jets, but I don't know. And they went up 17-0, by the way. They did not blow out the Jets, but it also shows there's some good coaching going on there. Because if they didn't make a couple of moves and, figure things out, they probably would have lost that game.
So not to be this guy, but that little blue button when you enter text into the Facebook box, and it says post, I think. Did you
post?
Did you click that little blue button?
First time it's ever happened to me. Yes, I did all of the things, but it just did not. And later on, I was like 8 hours later, it finally was posted.
Yeah.
So I think
now are people just dunking on you in the comment section for Tom? The game happened already, buddy.
Yeah, Tom, you moron. The game was this morning at 8:30.
I think that could be a funny bit, though. Just every week, you're the guy that records the game and watches it back, and then you give your analysis before you watch it, but after the actual. I could see it being a real slugfest coming down. That
would be all bad.
Who knows if it rains in London? You never know how that's going to affect it. And the thing is, if Aaron Jones leaves this game at any point, that's going to really stall out that offense. Yeah. So as long as he stays healthy,
right.
I'll say ESPN classic games
from the 70s. Boy, this Steelers-Cowboys Super Bowl 1979 is making me nervous for Terry Bradshaw.
There you go. Well, you finally popped up on your screen, huh? I'm glad to hear it. No, I don't know why that's never happened to me before. I don't understand why it did. And then last night, I finally looked, and there it was, where it should have been, but it said posted 8 hours ago. It's like, well, where's it been?
Well, here's some good news for you. So I actually I didn't watch the game until 6:30 p.m. because my wife ran her first marathon yesterday, the Twin Cities Marathon. Crushed it.
Was that yesterday?
So proud. Yesterday morning.
Oh, was yesterday morning?
Yeah. So Saturday was the 5K, 10K. And then
that's right.
Sunday was the marathon, the half, and then the 10 mile, which, by the way,
no.
It's just if I ran like for a half hour, I think both my Achilles tendons would tear. So I'm a very proud husband, but I didn't get to watch the Vikings game until like 6:30 p.m. And so I saw your post on Facebook around 5, and I was like, I'm nervous too, Tom. I haven't seen the game yet.
Yeah, you haven't even seen the game, for Christ's sake. No, I'll tell you though, I was there for the on Saturday because my daughter runs in that every year. And what's the name of the church there? It's on Lexington and Summit. There's a big, there are a lot of churches.
Not the cathedral, right? We're talking.
It looks like a cathedral, so kind of mini cathedral. How about
there's like 3. Yeah, there's a lot of impressive churches in that area.
Yes,
for sure.
there are. Yeah. That's a great neighborhood.
Be on your best behavior is what you need to do over there.
Yes, absolutely. God hates you. That's what I want.
Judging you.
But no, it's a great event anyway. They do a really good job running that thing, no question about it. So I go there and with Dan, my daughter's husband, and their 2 kids, Fawny and Sage. Had a great time. Met a bunch of people who listened to the show. You know, I got to run this by you because I want your take on this too, not just AJ and Tevin's take.
Yeah, we don't need their takes.
I went to an apple orchard after that run on Saturday out in Winona. It's a really nice apple orchard. They've got a bunch of rides for the kids and have a wonderful time. I started keeping track after like 4 or 5. I ran into 21 people that came up and said hello and that, hey, we listen to the show every morning. And I just want to, who's doing the numbers on this show? I got to figure this
Spotify.
Because it ain't great. I will tell you that.
Spotify and YouTube, I guess, would be the
21 people came up. One guy came over and gave me a big hug and said, oh man, we never miss it. He says, I watch it every day. I don't just listen. I watch it every day.
Yeah.
So I finally kept track and I thought, why is this so hard? If I run in everywhere I go now, I run into people that listen to the show, which never used to happen, but I wasn't on camera when I was at the queue. So that might be a difference if people would know what I look like now, but yeah, tons of support for all you guys and the women on the, everybody on the show. They love the show, and I just wanted to pass that along. But we got to find somebody who can add 2 + 2.
Well, can I ask, did the guy who hugged you, had you ever met him before? And did he say anything before he hugged you, or did he just come in hot and give you a hug?
No, he was great. Actually, I was at my son's house, and then I decided to go for a walk. And I won't say where it is because Andy hates it when I say where he lives because he's a very private person. But I'm walking along, and this man and his lovely wife are sitting out on their deck just on a beautiful day, all the rest of it. So I said hello to him. They said hi back. We just started talking, all the rest of it. And he asked me at that point, my name. And I told him my name. He went, oh, God, I've been listening to you for years and blah, blah, blah. He said, I wish you wouldn't have retired.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys. Because, of course, the woman who just retired, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's people like that. I ran into the guy who's putting the little kids on the horses. Great guy, but he had this smart ass look on his face the whole time he was talking to me. Hey, how come you came to this orchard? Why didn't you go to the one that Terry Trade owns? I'm like, would you people stop with that Terry Crane bullshit? I did not fire her. Once again, they move her, then they fire her, and somehow I'm to blame because she was told, I think, that I'm the one who fired her.
So go to her apple orchard then, Tom. Come on, Tom.
I would go to her apple orchard. I got no problem.
Let's all 4 of us in solidarity with Tom. We'll go to Terry's apple orchard.
I got no problem.
We'll bring that guy too, so he can see. It's not so bad.
Then we have a witness, like somebody that witnessed it.
Yeah, you have a witness. If Terry wants to come in and sit in on this show, I don't care. I've never cared about stuff like that, but people think for some reason I do.
Yeah. Real quick, you talk on the YouTube thing real quick.
Yeah.
So it is amazing because for years, radio, you try to put maybe a name to a voice or a face to a voice, and YouTube and TV obviously changed that.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were doing 3-4 hour talk shows on 1500 ESPN for all those years,
right?
Maybe once or twice a month somebody might come up or whatever. And it's yesterday. I'm just along the marathon path, cheering on my wife and Vikings fans in the marathon running by like double. They're like, mile 11, huffing and puffing. They look over, Phil Mackey.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a game changer. And the fact that people think too that moving off of radio and into a digital medium, podcasting or YouTube, despite a bunch of success stories across the country that you have like retired. You're no longer doing radio. Look at around like in sports media. Look at Dan Le Batard, Pat McAfee, all these Bill Simmons, Colin Cowherd with the volume. There are audiences to be commingled with outside of radio. So
well, the thing about it
my
is,
soapbox.
You look at the numbers. Basically, nobody under the age of 40 listens to the radio anymore. I mean,
it's tough. Oh man.
Also, no one over the age of about 58 listens to podcasting, or very few again.
Yeah.
There's that area right in the middle there for about maybe 15 years. You might catch both of them. But yeah, young people, it's all podcasting, and older people, it's all radio.
Yeah, and it's, you guys have Judd on the show 3 days a week. Judd's in his mid-50s, started in the newspaper business for 25 years, Star Tribune, and then AM radio. And the people that come up to him when he's at, Target Field or a sporting event, it's just last week, someone came up and maybe like a 18, 19-year-old kid. You're the guy from TikTok.
Oh yeah,
because we take clips of the show and put them on TikTok.
Yep,
and that's how a 19-year-old discovers Judd. It's like, you're the guy from TikTok. He's like computing in his head. Oh, yes.
Which is ironic because Judd is the last person I would think of when I hear the words TikTok. Like he's not out here like doing the dances and stuff.
Yeah.
No, clips on there and it connects with the young people.
Judd Talk is great.
You ever seen when he dresses up like one of the female singers? It's just phenomenal. Shakira. When Judd dresses up like Shakira to appear on camera.
His hips don't lie.
His hips don't lie, baby. That's exactly. What are you laughing about in there, AJ?
Shakira.
Yeah, I came up with Shakira. What do you think of that? How old is that, man? It's got some age on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's dated.
I can't remember. What's that blonde woman's name? Who, by the way, is attractive, but she tries to ugly herself up every time she's on a TV commercial. What the hell's her name?
That narrows it down.
Oh, God, she's got long blonde hair. She's very, very talented woman. Really good singer. She did the poker face. That one.
Oh, Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Why does she ugly herself up every time? She looks like a scarecrow kind of.
I got to tell you,
attractive person.
I'm a big like one of my favorite. I love me some Rat Pack era jazz. Go back to Nat King Cole. Even I kind of grew up on that stuff. Yep. And my wife and I and some friends saw Lady Gaga's Tony Bennett jazz. No, Tony Bennett's passed away, but she did. We saw her in Vegas this last summer, and she did 2 hours of old school cocktail jazz stuff.
Ooh,
one of the best performances I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, she's very, very talented. I just don't understand why she likes to look spooky. What the hell is that all about?
Yeah, I feel
Says the 4 best looking humans on the planet, by the way, right here.
Yeah, I feel like she's the type where she's like trying to make statements with her wardrobe.
Yeah, she is.
Like she wore like a meat dress one year to an award show, and like there's always like some cool meaning behind everything. So yeah, she's
Tom, can we get you to wear a meat costume for Halloween here? One of these shows.
I'm already packing some meat, so I don't know.
I walked into that one, didn't I?
You walked right into that one. Let's be honest. I suppose you only got a couple of minutes. We probably should talk about that Viking game because they are 5-0 now. The last 2 games got very shaky.
Yeah, there's definitely, these are the types of wins that the coaches love because you get the W, as they say, but then you get a bunch of teaching and coaching points. And I love how the expectations have gone from, before the season started, the Vikings would be lucky to win 8 games and maybe flirt with a playoff spot to now we're nitpicking second half possessions that made a blowout a non-blowout.
Yep.
I would say off yesterday, London games are weird.
Yeah.
The Jets have a great defense. Aaron Rodgers, even though that was one of the worst games he's ever played in his career, still has a little magic in that right arm when you give him an opening. And it came down to a nail biter at the end, but not every game is going to be a perfect 38-3 thrashing of whoever you're beating in the first quarter. And so 5-0, man, and then they go into the bye week, so they're going to be undefeated as we get into the second half of October. And all the other teams that were fighting for the top position in the league are all flawed, beyond what the Vikings are to this point. A lot of season left, but it is a legitimately really good team that has a chance to do some fun things in January and then shatter our hearts in pieces like every other Vikings team in history.
Is this coach that good? Because he seems to be. Yeah,
I think he is.
He really does seem to be a hell of a good coach. I mean, the players love the guy from what I can tell.
Yeah, I think his career winning percentage now, 2.5 years in, is like top 5 or 6 among active coaches. I mean, really? He's right up there in terms of just straight up wins and losses. And he's doing it with a lot of non-elite quarterbacks. Sam Darnold's talented, but he had done nothing until this season except be a punchline in the NFL. And he had a couple bad throws yesterday, but yeah, they're just the defense is swarming. That's the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career he had thrown 2 interceptions in the first quarter.
Yeah, right, exactly.
He was seeing ghosts.
What did they say? It was like his 30th or 40th game against the Vikings? Something like 30th?
Well, twice a year for 15 years or whatever it was.
Yeah, very, very true. I mean, it was a hell of a game to watch, but they go up 17-0. All of a sudden it's like, oh, let's just hang out. I don't really want to work that hard.
Yeah. They got to stop doing this end of the first half thing where they've got that game against the Packers, the Jets game where you're up 28 rip or 17 rip, and then you turn the ball over or do something, give up a big punt return or whatever.
It's all true.
We're nitpicking some. This is a good problem to have. Nitpicking.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
It should have been a blowout instead of a 6-point win.
You're absolutely right. All right, young man. Any closing words?
I would say if you're a Timberwolves fan out there, and if you got a chance to watch their first preseason game, Dante DiVincenzo, keep that name in your head. He is one of the players they got back for Karl Anthony Towns from the Knicks. He came in, hit 4 3-pointers in the first quarter of the first preseason game, and then sat the rest of the game because they're resting guys. But I think my prediction is Dante DiVincenzo is going to be the new fan favorite Timberwolves player. Write that down.
Dethroning Naz Reid.
So where can I buy a 3 Vincenzo t-shirt?
Three Vincenzo, because he's one of the best 3-point shooters.
Is he Italian? Like, can we put it on like Italian flag or something like that? I don't know.
Did AJ just ask if a man named Dante DiVincenzo is Italian?
I don't want to assume, but
I think it's safe to say yes.
Yeah, he's Russian. He's Russian.
Prima.
Yeah, Russian. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. All right, well, let's keep it moving. We got next week off. Then we come back and face the Bears, I think, something like that.
The Lions. Got the Lions, and then a short week against the Rams after that, a Thursday night game. And we'll be looking forward to Tom's pregame posts on Facebook 9 hours after the game has ended.
Actually, I just got an email from somebody who said, why don't you appear on SKOR North and do your predictions on there? I said, I don't want to hang out with these people any more than I have to. Why would I want to do that?
These losers. I think Tom making predictions like after historical events happen could be a fun bit that we create.
Yeah. After it happened, yes.
Yeah.
I think they'll probably hold on at the very end. One of those deals.
Very specifically, a right side of the field interception by Stephon Gilmore. Just what I think. I sense.
I don't know how I know, but I just know.
Yep.
All right, Pally. We'll talk to you on Friday.
All right, gentlemen. See you guys.
Thanks a lot, man. Take a break. Be right back in a couple of seconds. Chris Egert will join. I think he's going to join us today, isn't he? You never know day to day if he's going to be on.
Yeah, it's tough to wrangle that guy in.
It's true.
It's like a puff of white smoke from the Vatican.
It's true. It's absolutely right. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, and he is my guy. I wouldn't say he was if he isn't. Mr. Money Talk can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions. He'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Matter of fact, I got to talk to Josh about this because, as I said, I watched my Monday little bits of all the national deals, and about half of them, all they talked about was the economy's going to collapse any minute. Do you think it is?
No, no, that's just not how it works.
All right. Well, I got to talk to Josh Arnold about that. No question. He's on to tomorrow. So I can talk to him about it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no obligation consultation. That's a very important part. He'll sit there with 48 minutes. He'll tell you how it gets done. He knows what he's doing. I'm here to tell you. A consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, LLC security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I got to mention something before we move into the next spot here. I've known Jim Paul for, 35, 40 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say 35 years. I've known him forever. So what's funny about that, when that commercial runs, there's video for it.
Mm-hmm.
And his son, who was this little tiny tot when I met Jim, is now this big bruising guy. I was like, what the hell? You better not piss him off, Jim. He's a lot bigger than you.
There you go.
That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I'm looking at him right now. He's a big fella. And knowing someone from the time they're a little kid like that, and now it's like, oh my God, whatever. And again, I said it to you when you were a year old, 2 years old, and I'll say it again. I'm sorry that Jim Paul has to be your dad. But, that hit home.
I feel like they've made it work.
Yeah.
They've somehow made it work. Let's take a second to talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company. Look, there's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. If you're tired of being just a number to your big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends at North American Banking Company. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as the other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations: Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. Listen to this lineup. We got Chris Egert now. Then we got Bob Sansevere. Then we got Henry Winkler. I love Henry Winkler. He's a wonderful
Oh, nice. The Fonz is on today?
Yeah, the Fonz is on today. No question about it.
I hear he's like the nicest dude ever.
He's a great guy. I've talked to him a billion times. Henry's a great guy. And then, of course, we close out with Kristen Burt. I'm never talking to her again because she made me watch not 1, 2, but 3 episodes of Monsters. Oh, my God.
Yep. What's Monsters?
Oh, what the hell is their last
Menendez
name? Menendez Brothers.
Oh, somebody's recommended that to me. You didn't like it, Tom?
Oh, no, it's good, but there's so many things. Well, let me put it this way. This is a good tip. My dad was mentally ill and schizophrenic, and he was institutionalized. They put him in the nut house for a while, and he and I never got along. My dad, compared to their dad, is the greatest father in the history of the world.
The dad's was a diddler, right?
Oh yeah, diddler and cheater, and I mean, just disgusting.
Yeah, I can't watch that crap. I got too much other maybe it's what my job is. When I'm watching something on TV, I need to laugh a little bit, or I don't know.
But I mean, honest to God, watching that thing because it's a true story, and I think 4 episodes or 3 episodes left. There's only a couple episodes left, but she said you got to watch through episode 5. And episode 5 is only like 34 minutes long, which is the shortest of them all. But to hear the things that he says about what his father did to him, it's like, oh my God.
Well, it sounds like they're taking the prosecutors are taking another look at that case.
Yeah, they are.
Because of this, which it's funny to see that also happened with that first, was it Making a Murderer on Netflix? That kind of, that seemed to sort of set the standard for what those documentaries have become. And that resulted in some legal maneuvering and stuff too. So the power of the public sometimes, right? How something people can get interested in something like that. And did want to let you know, just on my way in here, and not good.
Here we go.
Milton got upgraded to a category 4. That's that hurricane. That's not, and it can change, but the track right now is like Tampa, Orlando, Daytona Beach.
Yep.
It would be cutting across that way. I was there in 2004 when Charlie went sort of that direction.
Oh yeah.
I was working in Orlando, and Orlando hadn't taken a direct hit from a hurricane for a long time. And they took one that year. I think where did it go on shore? Punta Gorda, which I think maybe is north of Tampa, but that's not good if it's already at category 4 and it's going to sit over there on the Gulf of Mexico and strengthen because the warm water and
the
thing, I don't know, hope for a miracle, because that, I heard you talking earlier about the economy being teetering. I mean, you take a giant storm like that, those 2 storms back to back, and hit Florida again like that, and then there's such a trickle down. I don't think people don't always think about, but that cripples the insurance industry, and that impacts everybody in one way or another. So,
God, I have a friend that has a place over on the west side of Florida, down there. I don't want to say where it is but it's down at the the bottom of the state. Well, not the bottom, but close to the bottom of the state. Yeah. He has had his house destroyed now 3 times, not once, not twice, 3 times. And the problem is, if you on that side, in a lot of places, I don't know about all places, but a lot of places over on that side, because that's where all the hurricanes come. Once in a while, you get one come over from Puerto Rico or whatever, but not very often. But the thing about that whole deal is, you can't insure the first floor of your house. You can't get insurance for the first floor because they're the ones that always flood.
Yeah. Yep.
So you can get it to the second floor, but not the first floor. It's like, oh my God. Well, sorry, but I'm living in a condo if I'm living over there. That's all I got to say.
Yep. Yeah, right. Well, hopefully, I don't know, hope for a miracle, but
that would be great.
It's still I think it's still a couple days out. So
yeah, it is. Yeah.
We'll see. Other than that, that's kind of our big, 3 kids got hit by cars over the last, which is awful. Yeah.
I don't know. And again, I'm not trying to tell people how to raise their kids, but I ain't no way I'm sending my 7-year-old out at 10 o'clock at night. Right.
Yeah.
Now. Not happening.
That the kid was out late, 7 o'clock on a skateboard, clearly dark out.
I thought it was like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it was like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, he was 7 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 7 years old.
Right.
Which obviously, yeah.
And
today's
sad.
What's that?
Makes me very sad.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it's there's going to be some local ceremonies for the October 7th anniversary, which is today too. So from the massacre in Israel last year, October 7th. So it's been a year today. So I know there's some synagogues that are doing some things around town. So
wasn't there a big march by the other side downtown last night or something?
Yeah, it looked like quite a few people there too.
Was it non-violent?
It was pro-Palestinian. Yeah, I don't. We didn't get any reports of anything. So
good to hear. Go you bitch all you want, just don't hurt anybody.
Boy, I'm like the angel of death. Everything I talk
You
about
are.
is absolutely awful. How about those Vikings, huh?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, I'm just look. All I have to say is that there were 2 games they could have lost. They had big leads in both those games, and he could have lost both of them, but they held on. And
no, that says something. That definitely bend don't break, right?
I like it. There's no question about it. So, all right, Pally. Well, we'll just keep moving forward. You want to come back on when Henry Winkler's on? You can call and say hello.
I would love to, but I gotta go do my other thing.
I've been watching you all morning. You don't do shit. You sit there and look at the other people.
I mean, that's not that far off, but I do have to. I have to physically be sitting there. That's the problem. So, all right, you guys.
Thanks, Pally.
Bye.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Okay, who's the guy over in Italy that you were talking about, trying to DiVincenzo? Was that his name?
Yeah, the new Timberwolves player.
Yeah, and he is. I can confirm he is Italian.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, now let's have a bet, a 3-way bet.
Okay.
All right.
Even though Bob is 100% Italian, will he be able to say DiVincenzo?
Oh yeah, and he will make it sound like he'll say it, and like there will be like a gold aura around him as like angels sing behind in the background. Yeah.
When you move it
like a big pizza pie. In any case, we'll be right back. Sandy will come on and ruin the show right after this. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank all our listeners for all your continued support. When Mike started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, they now have hundreds of products, some of you may not even know about. For example, the brand new 4-pack dish towel sets, just $25. 6-pack towel sets, just $25. Bed sheets for as low as $25. Check out their overstock and closeout sale and save up to 80% off select items. You're looking for a good night's sleep? Take advantage of the classic collection on a variety of MyPillows for as low as $9.88. These amazing offers won't last long, so order now. Just go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Look at that timing, huh?
Literally, boom, boom. As the ass hits the seat, the.
Why are you calling me an ass? That ass just hit the seat.
Like a professional.
Very negative. I'm deeply hurt. That's all I have to say. Bob Sansevere Sports is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That's minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Sandy, got a new Italian playing with your team.
Donnie D. Actually, Donnie Dagger.
Donnie,
that's what he is when he shoots the tree. Donnie Dagger. Mr. DiVincenzo.
Listen to you. I like it.
Hey, how come they're in different quartiles right now?
They're
AJ and Kevin. Kevin's above me, and AJ's to my, what is it?
I like to keep you on your toes.
Oh, that's it right
I
there.
know what you're talking about, Bob.
Over there. Yeah, there.
What do you mean?
There. Oh, wow. Look at that. He switched.
He switched, man.
Oh, impressive.
So, Sandy, what's the latest?
The latest is, let me ask you a question.
Asking.
That's what I'm saying. Do you know what happened the last time the Vikings finished started 5-0?
They finished 5-7.
We probably lost in the Super Bowl.
No, they didn't make it to playoffs. Do you know what happened two of the last 3 times the Vikings started 5-0?
No,
they didn't make the playoffs.
I don't know why you decided to bring all this negativity in here today.
8 times in their history, they have started 8-0. Well, the first 5 times they did. Well, first 2 times lost in the Super Bowl back when Chuck Foreman was playing and Tarkenton and the Purple People Eaters. Then in 75, Vikings from that era have claimed that was their best team, but they lost in the divisional round to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then they lost in 98 and 2000 in the conference championships. In 2003, they went 9-7, missed the playoffs. In 2009, the Favre year, 12-4, lost in the conference championships. And then in 2016, started 5-0, went 8-8, missed the playoffs. I mention that only for this reason, because if they don't figure out how to adjust to the other team's adjustments at halftime, they are going to lose games. They need, and it's more than, yes, they need this killer instinct, but I don't know what they're doing in the locker room. They have to anticipate the other team is going to do something, and they haven't really the last 2 weeks. They were fortunate that they won those games.
Still came away with the win, though. Some coaches would have lost those games.
Yeah, and the best part about those previous seasons that we've went 5-0 and missed the playoffs or lost in Super Bowls, none of these guys were around back then. New team. This is like new year.
There you go.
So we're breaking trends this year.
Your safety might have been around then.
2016, I guess. But the ones way back in the day, like they don't care about those. We're here. This is a different team. Why not now? Why not us?
History is history. And it often haunts teams in
we
some
can
way.
Ignore that for this
Look,
year.
I'm not trying to be Donnie Downer because you got Donnie Dagger, but I'm just telling you that they got to clean this up. And we don't know the extent, by the way. He didn't look good on the sideline. Aaron Jones, they better hope that bye week, his hip is in good shape when they come out of it because they really need him. It is a little different offense without him.
Yeah, and I believe when he was in Green Bay, he had hip issues a couple of seasons. From some of my Packer fans.
He hurt his hip a little bit at the start of the season, but he's been playing through it. So I don't know. We don't know how bad it is. Let's hopefully for his sake and the sake of the Vikings. And I think he's a great player, and he seems like a great guy. You got to hope that he's going to be okay. And the fact that he's on one of my fantasy teams, absolutely, I want.
Oh well, that changes everything.
you darn tootin'.
Well, in that case,
it's all about Bob.
Yeah.
Well, in some cases it is.
But hope you have Ty Chandler.
But I will say, no, I don't. But I will say that the defense, it played pretty good yesterday. I like that defense, even when they got, when it was getting bad against the Packers. They're still when that front line gets to a quarterback, the quarterbacks just want to get rid of the ball.
Yep.
So I think that I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs. I think they could have a special year, but again, anticipate that the other team is going to do something different. And there's only a limited number of things that the other team can do. So be ready for it.
How far into the second quarter did they score that 17th point?
I don't remember exactly, but they were
about
up
halfway
17.
in.
Yeah, but they were up 17-0. And you know what? I was talking to somebody, or a friend had texted me, let's see if they wind up losing or giving up a score at the end of the half. And that's what happened.
No, I mean, the thing about it is 17-0, but I think it was about midway through the second quarter when that happened. And then they sat around, did nothing for like 2 quarters. What the hell is that all about?
Darnold, he really didn't. He had a bad game. Now, I think some of it too is they against that Jets defense, they were blankets on the receivers.
Yeah.
So that's where Aaron Jones would have come in very handy on screens, but you use screens with Addison and Jefferson, and you use slants, quick slants across over the middle. Take advantage of that. You got to shorten your routes. I think they were trying to go too deep because that Jets defense can get on you.
Yeah,
which it did.
They did.
But I mean, that's a slight adjustment, but you got to adjust to that and get rid of the ball quicker, which is what last week happened with Jordan Love. He quickened the pace, and then he threw for huge yards. So I mean, I just don't. I think O'Connell. I think the best thing O'Connell has done is they like him and they'll play for him. But I think he's still learning on the job training and learning how to be a head coach and make the right decisions. Last week, I still think he should have kicked the field goal late instead of letting a team be in a position to score a touchdown and then win with a field goal instead of putting a little bit out of reach.
Yeah, well, then there was a 4th and 2 as well where we went for it and threw kind of I believe it was a deep shot down the left side rather than taking the field goal, and that potentially could have came back and bit us in the ass at the end of the game. But so he definitely started to show a sign of aggression and wanting to go for it on 4th down. We just need to start converting a couple of.
Well, and also it's hard for me to say you have to have killer instinct when they try something like that.
Yeah,
but you got to make them all. They have to work.
Yep. Well, and especially when Will the Thrill, our kicker, is just lights out. Like, I think he's cured, knock on wood, my kicker anxiety when it comes to Minnesota Vikings football.
He is, he's terrific. And he's like baby-faced.
Yep.
He just looks like a little kid out there. He is impressive. I mean, he's automatic.
Yeah, that was the face I was trying to make at the apple orchard, the baby face.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be Rondo Hatton instead. You should see this picture of me, Bob. Honestly, God, I think my daughter-in-law sent it to me. I look scary as hell in that picture. I'm like,
did she put on a filter to make you look scary?
No, it's because my face wouldn't fit in it's one of those deals where you look through the hole in the
yeah.
And it pulled the skin back of my face, and it's oh my God. I literally, you remember Rondo Hatton, don't you?
Of course I do. They probably don't.
Well,
the guy that was in every scary movie ever made back in the day. Yeah, I'm familiar.
AJ, pull him up for folks. You could do that, right?
Rondo or me?
No. Well, both. I'd love to see you, and then see.
You want me to pick up your laundry too while I'm at it, Bob?
Would you?
There you. Okay, we're going to show Rondo first or me first. Which one are you going to show first? It's on my Facebook page. It's like the second thing down, I think, something like that. But I had no idea. I look. My face looks like it's got like grooves in it all the way down.
Well, but you're sticking your face in something. What do you expect?
He's right.
All right. Here we go, Bob. Just for you.
Just for Bob.
Bam.
There's Rondo.
There's Tom. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Rondo.
That's me when I pick up my paycheck. Give me the damn money right now. Let's go.
And the guy, you've seen photos, or I've seen photos when he was younger.
Yes.
He was a handsome guy, but then he had, I don't even know what the disease was.
It is a disease that did that to him. That's right. That's very, very true.
But he never would have been in the movies without it.
I'm pissed off. Honest to God. His nickname had to be Banana with a nose like that.
Look at the ears, though.
I know the ears are gigantic, too. Look at those bad boys. He could not have lived very long, I wouldn't think. Does anybody know how old he was when he died?
He was 22 when that photo was taken.
That's not good, dude.
He was 51 years old.
He's only 51 when he died.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's some kind of debilitating disease.
Yeah, he had like acromegaly or something.
Acromegaly.
Something.
I like it.
But you know, it's amazing. Like when you think of the guys like Humphrey Bogart and Errol Flynn, I don't know that he might have made it to 50. Bogey wasn't much more than 50. Clark Gable, he was I think in his early 50s. You think these guys lived for a long time. They just lived a hard life.
Well, drinking and smoking, every one of them smoked cigarettes and drank like a fish, too.
Yeah, smoking 7 packs a day probably isn't going to help you much.
Do you know, honest to God, that Rod Serling, he smoked like 6-7 packs of cigarettes a day.
How do you have time?
That's 140 cigarettes, for God's sake.
Yeah, he's another one who didn't quite make it for the
No,
long
he did
haul.
not. No, he did not. No question about it. All right, Bob, any closing words?
Well, just that next week there's a bye week, so your Vikings, they get to rest on the laurels they've accumulated. And as of right now, the only 5-0 team in the NFL.
Yeah,
the
that's right.
Chiefs haven't played tonight. We'll see what happens. We'll have, what happens there. And they get coming out of the bye. That will tell us a lot. I mean, all of them have told us a lot, but Detroit, I think, is what they got coming out of the bye.
Why would it have to be that the very first team that beat us in the Super Bowl is going to line up right there at the end of this year again? Damn it.
Well, let's have a little revenge game.
That sounds good.
There we go.
I like it, Bob. All right, Sandy, we will talk to you on Thursday.
Friday. Oh, you're not
Friday.
Friday? Yeah, Friday.
What am I talking about?
Right.
I thought I was going to take Friday off, and I decided against it.
Glad to hear.
I'll talk to you
the fellas could handle it.
Well, I don't know about that.
Probably not, but I appreciate the comments, Bob.
Hey, you came up with that photo, although we never got to see Tom.
That is true.
You never showed the Tom one.
I'll find it.
It's on my Facebook page. It's not that hard.
FACE.
In other words, he never looks at my Facebook page. Nice coworker.
I don't go on Facebook ever. I'll be honest about that.
What are you going, TikTok?
I do, yeah.
What are you, a child?
I'd like
Isn't
to
that for like 9-year-olds?
All right. Bye, Bob.
We just want
okay,
out.
Bob, hit the road, Bob.
All right, see you.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant Personal Injury Lawyers. Seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. One of my favorite people to talk to is on the show. Coming up next, Henry Winkler. I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face.
Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot. Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said, so why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Yes, you are, ladies and gentlemen. New children's book coming out, Detective Duck, The Case of the Missing Tadpole, Detective Duck #2, and his memoir, Being Henry, along with his appearance on American Horror Story, which I will be watching because it starts, a week from tomorrow? Yeah, a week from tomorrow it does, right, on FX. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely and talented Henry Winkler. Henry.
Wow. Are you in a stadium? That was amazing.
I was in the stadium. Actually, I missed you. I used to talk to you about 2-3 times a year for about 35 years. And then, of course, you came to town, didn't bother to pick up the phone, call Uncle Tommy. I'm deeply hurt.
You know why, Uncle Tommy? The only reason I didn't call you, and I'm so, and I hope Aunt Seal is great, but I was at a function called Way to Grow.
Wonderful.
I was at their fundraiser. It was amazing. It raises money for inner city children so that they can read by the time they get to school. It was so touching. But I was on the plane, off the plane, I did my talk. I got back on the plane. I was in my house at 9:30 Saturday morning.
Yeah, I was too. I was waiting by the phone to see if you're going to call. I was at my house.
See, I feel terrible. Next time I'm bringing coffee and donuts.
Oh, I like that. Works for me. No, but honestly, ladies and gentlemen, Henry and I have talked, I don't know, dozens and dozens of times. I was on the KQ Morning Show for 37 years, and Henry would always come on. Just, you're a lovely guest, Henry. You're a good guy.
Thank you.
No, but it's true. Somebody as famous and successful as you are, to be the nice, decent person that you are is quite a nice thing to experience.
Thank you.
It's true.
But, I have to say, my conversation is a reflection of who I'm chatting with.
Oh.
You have always made me feel at home.
Well, I loved your work all the way. Well, I told Henry Winkler this story many years ago, about 8 years ago now, or about 7 years ago. But I have a granddaughter. My firstborn grandchild is a little girl, and her name is Fawn, Fawn.
Right.
And so for about when she first learned to talk and all the rest of it, I started calling her Fawn Zarelli. And she got very upset with me. This is a 2-year-old girl, comes up to me, puts her fists on her hips, and she looks at me, goes, Fawn, not Zarelli. It's like, okay, Fawn.
That is a great story.
She was Fawn Zarelli, but she decided you were Fawn Zarelli. She's just Fawn.
Yeah.
It works for me. Henry,
that's wonderful.
You've always done a lot of great work for people. You're at it again. Well, first of all, does anyone work more than you in Hollywood? You're always, every great TV show, you can play the good guy, the bad guy, the psychopath. In one of the shows, we were terrific on that.
Well, right now, my son, Max, he was 10. We went to see Bottle Rocket by Wes Anderson.
Okay.
And he said, I'm going to be a director.
Okay.
I went, okay. Now he's a director. He runs shows for Ryan Murphy with his executive producing partner, Alexis, and he did American Horror Stories.
Oh, that's
and he
great.
said, Dad, I've got a part for you. And my son hired me as an actor. And then a friend of his who was at USC Film School, who was in my house all through school, eating us out of house and home, was the director of the episode. And now I'm working for these two guys.
Right.
It was, and then I asked for a cup of coffee on the set, and the crew brought me a paper cup of coffee, and it said, Daddy Winkler, written on the side. I thought my heart would fly out of my body.
I understand that. There's no question about it. I mean, you have so many things going on. You're Dr. Nostrum. You got Detective Duck, the case of the missing tadpole. Detective Duck
my goodness. That is for emerging readers. It is the second of 4 Detective Ducks. And she is a little girl. She lives on a pond in New Hampshire. She's the only duckling with a beaver for a father. And she dreams about being a detective. And she's also an environmentalist. And we found that humor is the gateway for reluctant readers. And this is for emerging readers. And Dan Santat, who is one of the great illustrators in the world, we were lucky enough to get him for Detective Duck.
Ooh. Now, how wonderful is that?
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm over the moon. Because you write, we write for months, just Lynn Oliver and I. And then there is a human being who sees and hears our words and then draws to them. And you go, that's what I imagined. It's amazing.
It is. I just read something on your descriptor here. Henry Winkler, a very special guest again, Detective Duck. On October 15th, a week from tomorrow, we're talking about American Horror Stories. I'm looking forward to October 15th. That's what I'm talking about here. But also, I got to read this. I did not know this. And I got to be honest with you, Henry, I'm a little touchy about what's going on now. I grew up in a neighborhood that was Catholic, Black, and Jewish. That's where I grew up.
That's right.
and I had a wonderful life, a very poor neighborhood, no question about it, and a lot of violence and all that stuff. But this is who I grew up around. So what we're going through today with Jews in America I'm not very happy about it. But listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. Henry Franklin Winkler was born on October 30th, I won't say, it's none of their business what year you were born, but you were born a few years and
you know what? I can say it, 1945.
There you go.
And I say it because I'm amazed that I'm still in the game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, here I have a children's book. I have a memoir that's coming out in paperback if you can't carry the heavy hardcover. And I'm in this wonderful show with my son. I'm filled with the abundance of riches.
But your family story, October 30th, 1945, Henry Franklin Winkler is born in Manhattan. His parents, they moved. They're German Jewish immigrants who escaped the Holocaust by moving to the U.S. in 1939, just 6 years earlier. His father was the president of an international lumber company while his mother worked alongside his father. And Richard Belzer, oh my God, I miss Richard.
Richard was great. We talked once about, and we could never figure out how we were related. We just said, you know what, it doesn't matter, we're related.
No, great, quick. I know you got to get going here, but a very, very quick story. He used to come in studio once in a while. Another guy I just love talking to. What a great actor, all the rest of it. But he says to me, he's sitting in studio in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he goes, "Hey, I want to talk about your guy. I said, "What guy?" He goes, "Your guy that's on the National Public Radio, National Public Television." I said, "You mean Garrison Keillor?" He goes, Yeah. I do a great Garrison Keillor impression." I said, "Okay." So I said, "Go ahead." He goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted you to know that I'm standing in a farmyard in Minnesota, and I just witnessed something I didn't think I'd ever see in my life. I was looking at a rooster who walked over to the house, turned on the hose, and shoved it where the sun don't shine." It's like, really, Richard? That's your big story, is it? Henry, I love you, pal. You've been a great, seriously, been talking to you now for 35, 40 years, whatever it's been, but I will be watching everything you do. I can promise you that. Thank you. Sorry, I knew I took a little, but I always do that with him. I just love that guy.
He's such a hard guy to not want to talk to for an hour.
I know.
He's one of my favorites. Like,
great guy.
He's super talented. He's got a lot of range, but also he just is like the nicest, kindest. Like, I mean, I talked to him for like 30 seconds during the break before we came back. He was interested in what I got going on. It's like I had been a friend of his for a while, and he's never met me before. Like, he's just one of the all-time greats.
And I'm sure he's a very happily married man and all the rest of it. But I got to believe when he first became Fonzie, he didn't have any trouble going on dates.
Oh, no. Threw that leather jacket on and was just beating them away with a stick.
I wish everybody who's that successful. This man has been working nonstop for 40-some. When did Happy Days come out? Was it like
74 was
74.
The first season.
Well, so there you go. So you're basically talking 50 years. He's been kicking ass for 50 years now. And I've been talking to him myself for about 40 of those years. But you'd never know he's been working straight for 50 years. He didn't have any down periods, any down times. Just a great guy who accepts his success as a great gift and is a wonderful guy about it. Now, the person that should learn that is Kristen Burt. Yeah, be a little grateful for this wonderful career she's had. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to support you on that one. I'm going to be honest with you.
Big baby.
He said, I will sit this one out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the T-shirt's right behind me, baby. KB1 and KB2 and 24. Kristen Burt is up next. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, just over my right shoulder, looks like, my left shoulder, but it's my right shoulder. KB1 and KB2, 24 lakes and quakes. See, you went through your earthquake a couple of weeks ago on the air, and now it's lakes and quakes. Whoops, we can't hear you.
Oh, AJ, is she up?
Yeah, she's up. I think it's
Kristen.
Kristen,
still can't hear you, Kristen.
Kristen, what are you doing?
I don't know either. I'm going to pop you out for a second here, Kristen.
No, leave her up so she can't talk so I can go after her.
Let's see her scramble, yeah. Well, that's a very terrifying thing when you're like, yep, I've got everything set up, but you probably did a sound check beforehand, and then you're like, it doesn't work, and now you're like, I don't know what to do. Do we unplug?
See, that
power off?
Stuff has never bothered me. I just kept going, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Yeah.
So it's not that big a deal to me. But I do want to talk to her today because, with her running for vice, I don't know if she's running for president or vice president, KB1 and KB2. So, they're running together, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay,
great. Can you hear is there any echo or anything you can hear?
No, but I was telling you guys, I'm in more weather. I'm in Florida.
Oh, my God.
My gosh.
I guess I'm becoming the official Tom Barnard meteorologist. I don't know.
Lakes and quakes
and
lakes, quakes, and hurricanes. Yeah, I'm in an area. It's not an evacuation area, but we're about 100 miles east of Orlando, and Orlando is going to get hit. But I need to get down to Miami, so I think I'm going to be riding out the storm in Miami. But I might be leaving tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
You'll be fine in Miami. You going down to see your brother?
No, I'm actually working. So I'm here for work. So I don't know what's going to happen, whether my job is actually going to happen. That's the other big question mark. Or if I should just call it quits and go back to LA. That's also the other issue.
So are you in Cape Canaveral?
No, I am currently in Jensen Beach. I'm at my mom's place.
Jensen Beach. Okay. Oh, yeah.
I went for the weekend. The plan was to stay here until Wednesday and then go down to Miami, do my job, and then fly back to California. However, Wednesday is going to be the worst weather day, and it's not going to be safe for me to travel that day because I'll have to go through the path in order to get to Miami. Right. So the plan is to try and get me to Miami tomorrow on the Brightline, and then stay at my hotel an additional night and ride out the storm in Miami. Even though there'll be lots of flooding and stuff there, it's going to be a lot safer than being where I'm at.
No question. I love the Brightline anyway, especially out of Orlando down to Miami. That's a great run.
Yeah, it's a great way to travel. And, you get your little snacks and a little lounge and
you do
Wi-Fi, and away you go.
One thing you notice, like Catherine and I took the Brightline from West Palm Beach down to Miami to go to a Minnesota Twins Miami Marlins game, last year. And you ride down on the train and everybody's in a great mood and they're all fired up to go to the game and all the rest of it. When you ride back, they've been drinking the whole game. So the tone has changed a bit because somebody lost the game and they're not happy about it. So
I've been on a pretty rowdy Brightline. If you go on Saturdays in any game, even going down, people are excited. Yep. I think I went down in like Sesame Street Live or something was going. So it was like a whole car full of over sugar caffeinated children.
That's it. But I do love the Brightline. They got good service. It's very comfortable. Nice
clean.
Job.
It's very convenient. It's so easy. I flew in. I took the red eye in to Miami Airport, took an Uber, jumped on the Brightline, and then headed up to West Palm. And my mom picked me up there.
See, I have to go up to St. Cloud, which is about a 70-mile drive from here. I have to go up there on Friday. And if they had, I'm sure they got trains that go up there, but not if they had a Brightline kind of thing that ran up all the way through, let's say, Fargo, North Dakota, or even up to Canada or whatever, I would take the train in a minute if I could do that rather than drive up there.
I wish we had the same thing in California. We've got a great train. The Amtrak is fantastic from LA to San Diego and anything in between there. However, you need more of like Central California. You need places like that. You can go up to Santa Barbara too. I should say that, but it's just not as convenient. You need like a high speed train to take you all over California, and they're doing it between Las Vegas and California. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, they're doing that now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great way to try. I love traveling by train. Just love it. I tried to talk Catherine into taking a trip from Minnesota down to Florida on the train. And apparently it takes 30 hours because there's so many stops. So she's like, nope, not happening.
Europe knows how to get it done. I mean, I've traveled by train in Europe and it's wonderful. I went from Germany to Czech Republic. It was great.
Yeah, traveling by train in Europe is phenomenal. No question. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right. So KB1, KB2 right behind me, 24. Lakes and Quakes, which...
Now, I've heard that Catherine has not seen this shirt yet. Is that correct?
No, she'll see it for the first time today in about probably half an hour.
Yeah, Charlie gave me the scoop. He's like, Catherine has not seen it. KB1 has not seen her shirt. I was like, oh, I got the exclusive on Friday.
That's exactly what happened, too. She has not seen it. You have. You've got total control.
Right now, I'm the president. No.
I'm the president of the United States.
Until Catherine sees it in 30 minutes. And then I'm bumped that down to vice president again.
Okay. So I'm being far too nice to you because I followed your recommendation and you ruined my weekend.
Again?
Honest to God, that Monsters, Menendez Brothers is the most hideous, horrible. You know, one thing it taught me though, Kristen, and I'm very serious about it because it is a true story. All the stuff has been proven that's in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The abuse and all the rest of it.
Well, the abuse is interesting because it was a claim made by the brothers, but it's now coming into play in 2024 as they re-examine the case. As we talked about on Friday, Gascon, our DA, is going to be looking at that and saying, should this have been entered as evidence?
Yeah.
Could this be a reason as to why they murdered their parents? And maybe the charges should go from murder to manslaughter. And that's why they may get out of jail in as early as 30 days. As it could happen that fast.
30 years they've been in jail?
30 years.
30 years for, and I got to be honest with you. Like I said, I didn't get along with my dad very well. He was schizophrenic. He was institutionalized for part of my life. And he and I just did, but compared to them, my dad was the king of the world.
You're like, wow, he was great.
My dad was phenomenal.
I think the other thing that's played into this, and I know I haven't mentioned this on the show, is that a former member of Menudo, the band, I think everyone remembers them.
Yep.
They were managed by Jose Menendez, and one of those band members has also claimed abuse. So that kind of adds credibility to the case too, not just, oh, Eric and Lyle wanted to get their hands on their parents' money and spend it all. which was,
No.
I mean, you do raise an eyebrow. If, like, you
Right.
just murdered your parents and you go out on a shopping spree. It's a little like crazy, but it does add credibility to their sexual abuse claims.
I watched all the way through because I watched 3 on Friday, 4 on Saturday, and 5 last night.
And
So
5 is
during
the
that-
infomercial. 5 is the
Oh,
infomercial for Eric and Lyle's case.
Oh God, it was very, very difficult. But you have to look at the upside. No matter what your relationship was with your mother and father, it was a hell of a lot better than theirs was. There's no question about it. We all learn lessons from things like that, I guess.
Well, and you think about this too. They lived a very privileged Beverly Hills life,
Yeah.
and there
Yep.
was still abuse going on. Money does not take away those
No.
problems. Maybe if you escape, it creates an easier path for you to get out of it. But for them, if the abuse was the reason why they killed their father, then that was the only way that they saw as an escape. That's kind of scary if you think about it.
No question. And also, wouldn't you think, since they had to shoot both their mother and father in the face, that that's what this was all about? I don't even want to look at them anymore.
It's very personal.
Yeah,
Anything
very.
they say, because me and the true crime I watch, but they always say like anything from like the neck up is a crime of passion because it
Yeah.
becomes
Yep.
personal.
It was very good. And I never wanted to talk to you again after sitting through that, but I decided I'd toughen up,
I'm glad I did not make you watch Dahmer last year because
Oh.
the performances are, oh gosh, they are outstanding. Niecy
They are.
Nash and Evan Peters are just so good. It is such a hard show to watch. I had to quit halfway through. I
Yeah.
mean, I know how it ends in real life, but I didn't get to see the fictional version of it because it was too much. And I am someone who stomachs a lot of true crime. And I was like, I can't finish this. And I think, adding cannibalism into it really
Yeah.
is a whole other level of sickness.
I know, it is unbelievable. Just people, it's never enough having all the money and all of this, and you got a great family, you got everything's wonderful, but you still got to screw it up. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Well, and if you get tired of watching monsters or your stomach starts to turn a little too much, have you seen the WWE documentary that Vince McMahon?
Oh my God, what a nice man he was, huh?
Yeah. I mean, the first
God.
the first 2-3 episodes is more of a deep dive into the history of wrestling. So they
Yeah,
do a lot
yeah.
of like the AWA or whatever other little branches of it. And then it gets into more of his track record of being not such a great human being, but they tell a lot of great stories, especially from his son. There was an instance where he had an idea, Vince didn't agree with it, and Vince handed him a knife and was like, if you want to do this so badly, stab me right here.
No.
And he was like, and the son was like, well, I'm obviously not going to stab you to do this wrestling idea. And he goes, well, that just tells me how much of a man you really are.
Oh.
Take that into consideration too. Like, this guy was a monster.
He was.
Yeah, and Vince has denounced this, even though they participated, he denounced it, saying, this isn't my story. I'm like, no, it is your story.
Apparently it is his story.
Well, because they were throwing the dates up from like when they were interviewed. And then once it got to the point where like all of the things about Vince had come out, they're like, yeah, this is when he stopped doing the documentary with us because he didn't want to comment anymore.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
He's been very problematic for decades. Let's be honest about that. And I understand that people want WWE stardom, but it does come at a cost, and it comes at a cost oftentimes for the athletes' physical health, their mental health. Some of them had CTE, and that is a big discussion. I was talking CTE yesterday, and my brother and I were debating it, and it's just one of those things that if you're playing football, wrestling, soccer, cheerleading, there comes a risk with all of that.
Have you ever spent any time around professional wrestlers?
Jesse Ventura, yeah.
Oh, that's right, Jesse. Well, he was a semi-professional wrestler. I assume.
Well, he was definitely in the WWF at the time. So
Yes, he
his
was.
pink feather
World
boa. Yes.
Wildlife Fund. That's where he was.
Yeah.
World Wildlife Fund. But no, I mean, they are different people. They are not like you and me. And people they think it's all an act. Some of it's not an act. I'm telling you.
Right. It's fake as far as like yes, it's not a football game where both people are trying their hardest to win this match, but like you can't climb to the top of a cage and jump onto a folding table. That's not fake.
It's not fake. And the injuries are real.
Yeah.
The surgeries are real that they have to get. Oftentimes, there's addiction that goes behind the scenes and things like that. You got to keep your body in shape. And anyone who is toured knows that trying to keep your body in shape while you're on the road is almost impossible.
Right.
And I think when we watched, what was that show? Gladiators, like the
American Gladiators.
American Gladiators. They were just talking about how
good.
they had to, shoot themselves up constantly with steroids to keep themselves really physically fit on the road because it was really hard to do.
God, what a world that is. But that's so funny. Spending all that time around Jesse Ventura. Did you ever get over it?
I did. I mean, I was like I said, I was very well protected in that. The producers kind of like kept me in a bubble and would be like, "Oh, come on over here, go over here." Like anytime that there was discourse on the set. So because there weren't many women on the set, it was me and the makeup artist, and everyone else was male. So I think, and my personal segment producer happened to be, this is such a strange thing, but happened to be a producer I had worked with in Los Angeles and knew from California. So he was like, my big dad, like just going, "Okay, come on over here. Don't do this. Don't listen to this. Okay, go over here." Like would just make sure that I didn't see the worst of it.
It was really kind of sad because Jesse and I were really good friends back in the day. He graduated from Roosevelt a year after I graduated from North, I guess. But his daughter, and I won't say her name because she's a private citizen, but his daughter babysat my kids pretty much every weekend. His wife and my wife, really, really good friends. I used to, get out with Jesse once in a while, do things here, there, and there. But all of a sudden, when he became governor and KQRS wouldn't let me host the opening party at the wherever the hell it was, the VHS Center or whatever the hell they call it. But it's so weird because we haven't seen them in years now. And it's all because of he became governor and, in my opinion, couldn't handle it.
I mean, I still had to call him governor. They called him behind the scenes. Oh, and there was another woman, his lovely assistant, Dee, who was such a sweetheart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dee was awesome. I don't know. You should try and reconnect with him and see if he'll come on the show. I think it'd be interesting.
Let me just tell you something.
Tom,
let me
I used to pee in my suit as a Navy SEAL.
Oh, he always says that he always peed in his suit as a Navy. He was never a Navy SEAL either. He was a CBT guy.
Which became the Navy SEAls eventually.
Became part of the Navy SEAls, yeah. Is it CDT? Do I have that right? Demolition
I'm not
team?
sure.
Something demolition team. I know it's something DT. Maybe I got the DTs. That's what the problem is, right?
It must have been UDT, underwater
UDT. That's exactly what it was. UDT.
SEAL Team 12.
But why don't you bring him on like ahead of the election, like the week of the election?
I'd have him on in a minute. I'd have him on in a minute, but he just never. I don't know how to get a hold of him anymore. I haven't talked to him in years.
I think if you look at IMDb, there's got to be at least a publicist listed or something.
I suppose no, but I'd love to have the guy on.
Yeah.
He and I were very, very good friends for a long time, but that just came apart at the seams after that. And then, of course, I made fun of him for about 5 years.
That's okay. You guys, come on, men can come together and shake hands and just forget about the past.
All I ever do is give. That's all I'm saying.
Tom.
Yeah.
Just remember, we're voting KB1 and KB2 anyway on November 5th.
Okay, I'm never talking to you again because I had to watch those 3 episodes of Monsters.
Right.
Your fault.
Of course.
KB1, KB2 is up there. Lakes and Quakes is covered. We got, I'll ask somebody to reach out to Jesse Ventura's team because I wouldn't mind having him on. I wish he'd come in the studio.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting for your listeners. I think just his perspective on a divisive election, and we're less than 30 days out. So what are his thoughts?
I agree. All right. Any closing words, sister?
Yeah, I wanted to mention this because I know you love the movies. Tom Selleck is thinking about bringing a Jesse Stone movie back.
I love Jesse Stone.
I know you do. So the last movie was 2015 for Hallmark. So he's thinking now that he's done with Blue Bloods, which he says, by the way, was a mistake for CBS to cancel.
I agree.
Yeah. And a lot of the cast members are speaking out. I'm surprised someone didn't pick it up, but I'm also thinking that it was just so expensive to make that no one wanted to touch it. But he's thinking of writing the next Jesse Stone movie. And so maybe you should knock on his door and say, hey, we're ready for you.
Yeah, have Tom Selleck on the show too.
Yeah.
The only problem is, last time I had him on the show, he got all mad because he wasn't the handsomest guy in the room. You know.
Who was he mad at? You?
I didn't know Tevin was here.
No, I was not here for that.
Oh, my own coworker. Oh, it wasn't Tom. I know that. Yeah. Backstep. Here, let me turn my back to you so you can.
Kristen wasn't here for it, but you were just comparing yourself to Rondo Hatton like
That's
10
true.
minutes ago. Like, come on now.
Well, I did. You know those little things where you put your face. It's like a piece of plywood, and they cut a circle out of it, and you put your face through it.
I saw your photo over the weekends.
I look like Rondo. I tried because it was too small, so I tried to force my face in, and I got all these wrinkles, and my eyes look like I'm psychotic.
It's hard to look really cute in those. Like I've got a big round pumpkin head. Like I always have. Like my nickname was Pumpkin when I was a kid, and it's just big. And so like for me too, I only get like this much in. I'm like, hello, me and my big face can't make it through.
Catherine, of course. So everybody's like, you look like you're nuts, or you look like Rondo had. You look terrible. But your wife is really pretty. It's like, yeah, thanks. That makes me feel much better.
Babe, looking like I could look cute in anything. I'd be with you, Tom. I'd be like, hello.
All right, Pally, we will talk to you tomorrow.
You'll talk to me tomorrow. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure where yet. So AJ and Tevin, I will send you a DM just to give you a heads up because it may just be phone. Who knows? We'll find out.
Whatever works. We love having you on. That's all.
All
I'd
right,
say.
Hurricane Central.
Never talking to you again because of monsters. That's all.
I'm your storm chaser now. I'm officially your storm chaser.
We need you to check in tomorrow, like standing outside in the rain and the wind and giving us the entertainment report.
I know it's pretty windy and rainy here already. So I don't know where the rain's going to go.
Oh, God. Well, be safe.
I will. I promise.
Your whole family.
Yes.
All right, Pally, we will have contact tomorrow.
I will have contact in some way, somehow.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Any closing words, fellas? Any final shots to take at Uncle Tom? Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah, AJ, any more daggers?
Daggers.
What are you wearing today? Let me look at your. What can I?
More daggers.
No, just kidding. No, I think a good start to the week. I'm excited now. I get to go. The week is always better after the Vikings win, and
that's true.
Like all that content that we're going to do over at Hubbard is going to be a little easier.
Yeah, and I think that Judd will be fired up tomorrow because of the Twins news that came out over the weekend. And
I must have missed this.
The GM Thad.
Oh, Thad
stepping down.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
I think Judd will be fired up.
Thad Levine. Yeah.
They might not even have a general manager.
Yeah, it's
Tom.
Yeah.
Dust up that resume.
Get off your ass. Let's go.
Dust off that resume, Tommy.
I can get behind that.
All right, gentlemen. Have a magnificent day. The family show up in about 10 minutes.